Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit back.
Okay, we're back with more live from the Heartland for the week of March 18th, and it gives me great pleasure to bring on someone who I haven't seen in about 7 years, but was a guest on this show way back. That would be the one, the only Leni Manaa-Hoppenworth. And she is running in a runoff for the aldermanic position of the 48th Ward, which is the ward to the south of the beloved 49th, where the show originates. So good afternoon to you, Leni.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you for for having me here. I'm excited to talk to you today and to be such a great neighbor to you in the 48th Ward. As you might know, Maria Haddon, Alderwoman of the 49th Ward, recently endorsed me.
I wouldn't have expected her to do anything but. She's a great alderwoman, and I'm sure she would love to have you by her side over there in the city council. It looks like there's going to be a lot of good people in the council, and you certainly have a good shot. How does it look to you right now, your race?
It looks great. Every day, every morning I go out and I talk to voters. I love walking around and seeing mothers. Like today, I walked through my neighborhood and someone stopped me and said, Leni, and they were with, the mother was with their 2 kids. Leni, no matter what happens in this race, I really want you to come and talk to my daughter's Girl Scout troops, because they would be very interested to learn what made you want to run for office and why it matters. Because there's a democracy badge that they can earn, and so you can help them earn their badge.
Well, what did make you decide to run to office? How did you come to this position, and who influenced you? I mean, how did it come about?
Yeah, so like a lot of you heard, many people in city council decided to retire, run for other offices. And in the 48th Ward, my alderperson, Harry Osterman, decided to retire. So he announced, and that day I got so many calls from people in the neighborhood, friends, community leaders, business owners, local business owners, and Chamber of Commerce members, mothers who wanted to know if I wanted to run for office. And so I sat my family down at the dinner table because I said, hey, I'm thinking about running for office. And they said, yeah, Mom. And then I sat them down at the dinner table and I said, look, if I run for office, we will not be able to get off that roller coaster until it ends. So
which could be years away.
Yes, or many elections away. So so I'm going to get on this roller coaster, and I explained to them why I wanted to do it. I want to do what I'm already doing, which is being a good neighbor, being a good community member, caring for each other, doing things for our local public schools, doing things as a local business owner alongside the Chamber of Commerce to make Andersonville the coolest neighborhood to live in Chicago and in this planet, and organizing coalitions to do amazing things like with the Women's March and Indivisible. So I and working with our local elected officials at the local, state, and federal levels to pass good policies that help us all. So I want to do that as an elected official. And my daughter, who's now a freshman at Northwestern, who was waitressing several summers down the street at Svea, went to her room and she came back with 2 envelopes of cash and she put it on the table and she said, I want to be your first donor. Go for it.
Well, that's good. And I'm, we liked Harry. I don't think he was as progressive as we always kind of pushed him to be, but he was certainly a nice guy. And the 48th Ward is something special for many years. It's a lot of stuff. I'm a big fan of Scout over there, who has my photographs. If you're in there, tell Larry he better vote for you, and I'll come over and tell him too. How about telling our listeners, our viewers, a little bit about the 48th Ward?
So the 48th Ward, luckily for the 48th Ward, we're surrounded by amazing alder people. To the north, we have Maria Haddon. To the west, we have Andre Vasquez, actually right across the street from me, because Andersonville is split between the 48th Ward and the 40th Ward.
Aha.
Yes, and then Matt Martin to the south of us. And it is one, and we're right on the lakefront. We're one of the most diverse and dense wards in Chicago. And I know from experience, one of the most progressive, it seems. I was an organizer for the Women's March from Illinois to DC and back. And many people who jumped on buses with me, the 10,000 who came from Illinois, many of them came from this area. I worked at the Chicago Reader also on the publishing side, and many people who read the Chicago Reader live in this ward. And so I also am the co-founder of Indivisible IL9 and 9, the Congressional District, 9th District, and also Indivisible Illinois. And many people who came to our events came from this ward. So we also have amazing neighborhood public schools, and we have about more than 40 languages spoken in our grade schools and high schools. We have Uptown, Edgewater, and Andersonville. And in Uptown, we have Asia on Argyle, which is a historic district in itself, along with the Bryn Mawr Historic District, which is where my campaign, Edgewater campaign office, is right now at 1129 West Bryn Mawr. So please stop by at any time. We're right by the red line here on Bryn Mawr. So this is a very, we vote, we turn out the vote, we vote by mail. We're very inclusive. We have one of the largest LGBTQ populations in this ward. I am a queer woman of color, and I've talked to so many who have come from California, of all places, and LA in particular, in the past 2 weeks, who have said, Leni, I moved here, and it's because I feel politically safe here. And I want to say we have a mix of economic range, including people who rent, like myself. I rent my apartment, which my kids were all born and raised here. And I also rent my small business here in Andersonville. And
which is a dance studio, right?
Which is a dance store. So Michael, we have dance things like shoes, ballet slippers, and tights and leotards, but we also have my friends Rod and Melanie and Jenny. They teach tango on Monday nights at 8:00. So come and dance tango with me at 8:00 on Mondays. And seriously, Michael, I think that if I could teach everyone tango, I think this world would be a much better place. So we can have a whole nother conversation about how that.
I've got an album of all kind of tango music from Argentina, I think, where my daughter had gone to school one summer. I remember Argyle. You live in some neat, you've mentioned some neat neighborhoods. I remember when Argyle was still a lot of country and Western bars back in the old days, late 60s. Things do change, and a lot of times they change for the better. Now, let me ask you a question. You are running against a guy who other people have told me is a pretty good guy. I think probably Harry did support him. His last name is Dunn. What are the differences between you and Mr. Dunn? And why would people want to vote for you?
Well, what I'm hearing every day from voters on the street is that they are so excited to support somebody who has deep roots in the community, someone who's an advocate for our public schools, who value local small businesses and vibrant corridors, and somebody who's been working with people in coalition with groups and individuals and elected officials, not only at the local levels, but at the state and the national levels, to make this world a better place for all. So I have been talking to voters every day, and what they want, what they tell me at the doors, at the train stations, on the sidewalks, on the way to school, is that they want someone like me, who is an independent person, who can get things done, who has a track record of doing so, and who loves their community.
Well, you certainly have all that going for you. What is your team doing in the final days leading up to the election, which is April 4th? What do you guys, when you talk to your volunteers, and what are you working on? You going after unions? You're going after organizations? You're just meeting people? Share some of the stuff.
Well, yeah, I'll share some awesome news. Like we've been endorsed by many folks, including recently Brandon Johnson. So not only am I getting out the vote for myself, but for the next mayor of Chicago. And also the Illinois Nurses Association. Both my parents were nurses. They came here from the Philippines to be nurses on the South Side, South Chicago Community Hospital. And One People's Campaign, Asian American Midwest Progressives, Victory Fund, and recently Maria Haddon came out for me, and she actually walked with me. In fact, we walked the border between the 49th and the 48th wards, which is really exciting. And we have more exciting endorsements to come. So that's one part of it, is just getting as many people to see that there is momentum behind this campaign, not only elected officials. And for instance, Lily Wachowski from the Matrix is a co-host of our next fundraising event. And not only like people who have name recognition, but also people from the community. So business owners have gotten behind me too. So that's really what it is. It's showing momentum, in window signs and in yard signs and people talking on the street. And every day I'm doing the work of getting in front of people at the train stations, on the sidewalks, at the doors, on the phones, to make sure that people are reminded to vote again, Michael, we must vote again.
Okay.
on April 4th.
Chicago, we can vote as many times as we want.
We have to vote again, and hopefully we'll change this one time. We will change this with ranked choice voting so that we don't have to spend all of our time and resources on another election. But really, this is what the work is. So we have a full plan with a fantastic team, including our campaign manager, our volunteer coordinator, our campaign coordinator, and everyone on social media, just spreading the word that it's time to vote again. And early voting starts next week. So if you have your mail-in ballot, you could prepare it. It's a very short ballot, Michael. So it's a very short ballot. So please do it, because it's really important to get out the vote and to let people who can't vote yet, Michael, know that elections are important. And even though they can't vote, I'm talking about young people who are not yet citizens here, or who can't get their citizenship here, to know that they are here and we see them, and we will be your vote. We are going to vote with our values and vote for people who can push and represent the people in this ward and make things better for everybody in the city of Chicago. We're going to vote for them, even though you're not old enough to vote. We're going to vote for you, even though you might have to change your voter address, which, by the way, you can do on election day. So please do that. We're going to vote for you. If you forget to vote, please don't forget to vote, though. I want everybody to try to make a plan to vote. That's what we're going to do. And it's going to be in every single precinct. We have 35 precincts in the 48th ward. And so we're asking every single person, if you are a person who votes, bring 5 friends and tell those 5 friends to vote, and tell those 5 friends to vote, and tell those 5 friends to vote. Because you know, Michael, how it works. Democracy is better when we are involved and engaged and informed. And also we get behind the candidates that best represents us. And that's it. Yes.
You're doing great. You have a new state rep over that way too, right? Hone, is that his name? Or how do you?
Han Nguyen, yeah. Han Nguyen is the state rep in the 13th district, which Indivisible IL9 helped elect. And
Yeah, we had
Han
him on the show way back when he was running. And I'm just, I know that district is overlapped. So I just thought I'd bring that up, and hopefully he'll be out there for you too.
yeah, Hanwin is great. And also he's a model of what it takes to win elections.
Yeah, he really did it.
Yes, he really did it. He did it with his feet, and he did it with his words, and he did it with his heart, and he did it with working one-on-one with people, letting them know that he's running, because that's really the first part, is to let people know who you are, and to make sure that they get out to vote after that. So please, if you know of anybody, Michael, in the 48th ward,
Don't
let
worry,
me
I'm going to
know.
tell them all. I'm twisting arms, and it's not very hard. You're pretty popular, I gotta say.
Thanks, Michael.
You
Well,
got
I've
any?
been,
You
yeah,
got
go
any
ahead.
big plans for? Let's assume you become the alderwoman. What is? What do you got? Any great ideas? I was playing around with an idea like you could lead outdoor tango classes every morning out in the parks.
I'm telling you, I am ready for that. I seriously am ready for that, because I think that, look, we're still living in pandemic times,
We are.
and people are traumatized. And I believe that art heals. And so bringing in creative ways to bring people together, to bring back humanity in our experiences, and that includes doing things in real time. This is great, Michael. I will have to say, like, being on Zoom is very convenient, and I can see you and I can hear you, but also there's nothing that replaces being right in front of a person,
I hear
and
you.
being heart to heart, and with an embrace together, and moving as one, two bodies, uh, and four legs and one heart. That's what we want to do. We want to move together,
I
and
like
in a
it.
way that moves people forward, not back. We want to go forward.
Well, we hope you dance to victory, sister. And we wish you a lot of luck. And we're going to spread this video as far as we can, as locally as we can. And we're going to look forward to talking to you when you're in the council, and give us a little clues how the new progressive majority might be shaping up.
Thank you, Michael. I can't wait for that day. Thank you so much for all that you do, for being the local voice for all of us.
All right, sister, we'll see you.